name's Adam Shaw. I'm American. Nobody's perfect. I started off life as a journalist. I worked for UPI in Africa, in Paris, in Rome. Then I went to the Washington Post during the glorious years of the Washington Post when we got rid of Mr. Nixon. And then there wasn't much to do there, so I was a freelance journalist. I wrote some screenplays. I wrote a book called Sound of Impact about the crash of TWA Flight 514 outside of Washington. So I know a little bit about crashes. And then I flew for a living. I'm a flight instructor. I'm an aerobatic airship pilot. I've got almost 5,000 hours of flight time. Most of it's upside down. Been doing that for the last 22 years. Teaching people how to fly upside down. So I know a little bit about airplanes. And when 9/11 happened, I lost my oldest friend in the whole world in the second airplane. And like a lot of people, I believed the official version for a while. And then I saw the footage of the towers coming down, and I saw them falling into their own footprint. And I said, something's wrong here. Very, very wrong. And then when I heard that Building 7 was pulled, I was convinced something was up. What worries me a little bit about the official version of 9/11 is that for people who are really piss-poor student pilots, to be able to get in the cockpit of big jets and fly them as accurately as they were flown, at close to VNE, at close to max speed, and be able to hit the trade towers.
Les pirates de l'air s'étaient entraînés sur de petits avions monomoteurs, mais n'avaient jamais piloté un quelconque jet. Sans parler des grands avions de ligne, qui constituent une spécialité à part. Pourtant, ils ont accompli à grande vitesse des virages, des descentes vertigineuses et des manœuvres extrêmes qui ont laissé totalement perplexes les contrôleurs aériens.
I slid over to the controller on my left, and I asked him, "Do you see an unidentified plane there southwest of Dulles?" And his response was, "Yes." "Oh my gosh, yes. Look how fast he is."
The speed, the maneuverability, the way it turned, everything seemed to suggest it was a fighter jet. And we are all experienced controllers.
Now as I'm watching, United 175 makes a hard left-hand turn and starts climbing. So not only did he make a sharp turn, but he also climbed 3,000 feet in a matter of approximately 1 minute, which is a very fast rate of climb. This is something that we have never seen before. This is stuff that you would only see in the movies. The United 175, the hijackers were heading towards the city. We were counting down the altitudes, and they were descending right at the end at 10,000 feet per minute. That is absolutely unheard of for a commercial jet.
Écoutons les commentaires de pilotes professionnels à propos de ces manœuvres. Commandant Ted Muga, ex-pilote civil et militaire. Je n'arrive pas à croire qu'un amateur puisse ne serait-ce que se rapprocher de telles manœuvres. Commandant Ralph Kolstadt, ex-pilote militaire et ancien instructeur de combat aérien. Au Pentagone, le pilote du Boeing 757 a réalisé une manœuvre très difficile. J'ai moi-même 6000 heures de vol sur Boeing 757 et 767 et je n'aurais pas pu faire suivre à l'avion la trajectoire qui a été décrite. Capitaine Daniel Davis, ancien officier de la défense aérienne et pilote privé. Survoler la colline et l'autoroute et aller percuter le Pentagone entre la hauteur du mur et le sol, c'est pratiquement impossible, même pour un petit motomoteur lent, et il est impossible de faire ça avec un 757.
And even more unbelievable, the Pentagon is just not credible. The Pentagon airplane is the most troubling because coming in at the speed in which that supposed airplane came in ground effect, to not skip off the ground in ground effect is almost impossible. To be able to fly that curving, descending, high airspeed trajectory into a very low building with the airplane in ground effect for the last 3 or 4 seconds. You have to be Chuck Yeager to fly that trajectory. And those guys were not Chuck Yeager.
La prima difficoltà sarebbe quella di volare attaccato a terra. Lo so per esperienza diretta, avendo fatto volo militare a bassa quota. Ci sono tutta una serie di turbulenze che fanno sì che sia molto difficile stare veramente appiccicati per terra. Credo che chi ha fatto questa attività possa capire cosa vuol dire stare a 10 metri da terra, 5 metri da terra con un aeroplano che pesa 110-120 tonnellate lanciato a 900 km all'ora.
I flew the 2 actual aircraft which were involved in 9/11, the flight number 175 and flight 93, the 757 that allegedly went down at Shanksville, and flight 175 is the aircraft that's alleged to have hit the South Tower. I don't believe it's possible for, like I said, for a terrorist, a so-called terrorist, to train on a 172 and then jump in the cockpit of a 757, 767 glass cockpit and vertical navigate the aircraft, lateral navigate the aircraft, and fly the airplane at speeds exceeding its design limit speed by well over 100 knots, make high-speed, high-bank turns, pulling probably 5, 6, 7 Gs, and the aircraft would literally fall out of the sky. I couldn't do it, and I'm absolutely positive they couldn't do it.
And that was this cushion of air that doesn't allow a jet to land when they're traveling at 20 feet at 400 knots.
It's called ground effect, and it's most pronounced in aircraft with what's called a low wing loading. A low wing loading means a large airplane with a big wing. Highly wing-loaded planes, for instance, fighter aircraft, and these, of course, can approach the ground at very, very high speeds because they're designed to do that. But in Boeing 757, you can't do... I challenge any pilot anywhere. Give him a Boeing 757, tell him to do 400 knots 20 feet above the ground for half a mile. Can't do. It's aerodynamically impossible.
24 octobre 2000. Le Pentagone organise le premier des 2 exercices baptisés Mascal, simulant le crash d'un Boeing 757 contre le bâtiment. Charles Burlingame, ancien pilote de F-4 à la Navy, participe à l'exercice avant de quitter l'armée pour aller travailler chez American Airlines. Moins d'1 an plus tard, son Boeing 757 s'écrase soi-disant contre le Pentagone.
I'd read enough about false flag operations to say to myself, who benefits from all of this? Well, once you ask that question, and once you find the answers, which are pretty basic, who benefited from 9/11, you have some terrifying answers. And that's why I don't believe the official story.